Your Majesty, all the judges, Honorable, my fellow friends, ladies and gentlemen, and all the audiences. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the names of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the world, and the creator of everything in this universe. So, peace and salutation to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Peace be upon him, the noble messenger who has brought us from the darkness to the lightness. Hello, happy audience. How are you? Fine, thank you. Well, I have quoted some quotes for you. You cannot win the war against the world if you cannot win the war against your own mind. It started with a judgment, a judge which really hit me, but at least this song moves me. This was a song that I directly got from my own teacher. She said, "Hey, where are you staying here? You don't belong here. I don't like your bad attitude." It does something internally for me. It affected my mentally, my study, my spirit for facing everything that happened to me. But at least I realized, no matter what you face, no matter how bad it's going to be, when there is a challenge or everything what you face, the only way to overcome the challenge is start working and change. How if I ask this problematic to another child or even millennials? Can they solve this problematic? A few of millennials can't answer this question. So now I will invite you to dive into millennials' world by the title Under Millennials' Control. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are going to talk about millennial, all inside the topic were out of the box. As the name implies, millennials are the group that was born closest to the final millennium, where in their childhood and millennials' youth experienced technological development, that it was truly revolutionized the world. In nowadays, they often considered narcissistic, obsessed with technology, instigated by the influence of westernization, and the most grim thing is the loss of moral and a culture which you once respected so much. Let me ask you some question. When you were a child, you did some mistake. Who will remind you? Your parents, right? And when you did some mistakes or when you did some difficult thing to do in your exercise, who will teach you? Right, your teacher. And even when you got a lot of problematic, who will be there for you? So shitty, right? It's all depend on how the universe educates you. However, education will not be perfect without moral. Because education is not only educate the student to become intelligent, but also to build their personalities to be morally. Saying young people who become drug users, sex outside of marriage, selling themselves, mocking a religion through content, and even to the point of harassing their teacher who are teaching, busy giving them useful knowledge. Those were a huge problematic of millennials. Back to 2018, in some place right in Sulawesi, a teacher who ended up in jail due to pinching his police officer's sons was highly disgusted. Hey, wake up! No teacher would willingly harm his own student without any mistake made by the student themselves. Related to me as a teacher, when I find my student got a low score, should I be angry? No, I get close and I teach them. So, when I find out my student playing TikTok in the middle of teaching and learning process, do I stay silent? No, I advise and I remind them that it was actually a disgraceful thing to do. Isn't there any good in doing so? Where is the respect and courtesy for all the knowledge that was given by the teacher. My audiences, especially for millennials youth, remember, the fate of Indonesian nation depends on the moral of its young generation. The role in moral formation is not only by the guidance of the teacher, but especially from parent side, society, or even from oneself. Because with the education of teacher, parents, or even community, there will be no impact without any realization of oneself to change. So, let's hold each other, remind each other, especially for the youth of millennial generation. One thing that you might think only a small thing, maybe have a big influence on the people around you. So, that's all from me. Forgive me for all the mistakes I have made. The last I say, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.